One, two, three. Hi, my name is David McAlonan. Today we're going to be talking about the United States Nuclear Regulatory Commission laws on civilians owning uranium. So first part we're going to read is the actual law. It states, source material in the following products, uranium, thorium, are legal to own or buy and is NRC exempt from all regulations set forth by the NRC guidelines. Any person is exempt from the regulations that uses source material. And then the other law states the Nuclear Regulatory Commission regulations in 10 CFR 40.13c states you can buy or own exempt amounts of radioactive material or uranium ore, even source material set forth by the NRC guidelines, and it states it's legal to own without any license permit in small amounts. So that being said, owning uranium ore, thorium ore, radioactive antiques, radioactive vintage clocks and watches are all completely legal to own without the law saying anything. You're legally allowed to own them. Owning uranium, like I said, is legal to own, and only in small amounts, also known as source material, which is basically this byproduct that the government can't use, and source material you can legally own in the state of Pennsylvania without a license or permit, and it's exempt from all regulations of the United States Nuclear Regulatory Commission. And that being said, civilians are allowed to own uranium ore, thorium ore, radioactive antiques, and radioactive rocks and minerals in small amounts, in like real small amounts. But yes, it is legal to own. And that for being said, because there's not a lot of stuff online that tells you like, is uranium legal to own? Is it illegal to own? Is uranium ore safe to own? There's not that much you can find on those laws online. You just really can't. You just have to know the facts. So the facts is United States Nuclear Regulatory Commission states that all source material is NRC exempt from the license, regulation, and permits, which states you're allowed to own radioactive material or rocks or minerals in small amounts, that which is considered NRC exempt amounts, which is legal to own, but you can only own uranium ore, thorium ore, radioactive minerals, radioactive rocks, radioactive byproducts, radioactive metals in small amounts. So that for being said, yes, it is legal, but you have to know the laws that you just can't find much online anymore. It's just not out there like that. But like I said, NRC guidelines state that for the United States Nuclear Regulatory Commission, stating that it is legal to own radioactive material as a general citizen of the United States. You are legally allowed to own in small amounts called source material or exempt amounts of radioactive material. Basically, I know these laws because I collect radioactive antiques, radioactive glass, radioactive clocks and watches, radioactive antiques, and I collect radioactive rocks, minerals, and fossils. So I have to know the laws, and I figured that the general public should know this because they don't know too much about owning uranium. It's just really not out there like that. You have to understand what uranium is, or thorium, ore. And actually, your smoke detectors are radioactive because they use americium-241 in an ionizing chamber. So there you go. Smoke detectors are radioactive. And that's in your common everyday household. No salt, which is salt substitute, radioactive. Bananas, radioactive. Peanuts, radioactive. Cigarettes, radioactive. There's so much stuff out there that people just don't understand. And I'm just trying to bring it out to the general public so they understand what's really going on behind the scenes. And I want people to understand this, because what I'm doing on this YouTube video is to help people fully understand, so they don't have to keep searching all over the line. Can't find this, I can't find that. Does this law exist? Does this law exist? Well, I'm going to explain it so everybody understands. But yes, source material, byproduct, and Nuclear Regulatory Commission exempt amounts of radioactive material is legal to own by a citizen or a civilian as well. But yes, it is legal to own. And I'm just putting this out there because people need to know. Like, they need to know the facts and the truth that it's out there, but they just don't understand. But yeah, uranium is legal to own. So is thorium ore and thorium, and there's some welding rods with thorium in it. There's some whole products that have uranium in it. There's different stuff out there, and a lot of your antiques were all radioactive. A lot of your antique glassware was radioactive. A lot of your antique clocks and watches were radioactive. A lot of the kids' toys in the 40s, 50s, and 60s were radioactive. They even had radioactive chemistry sets for kids in the 40s and 50s. For God's sakes. Come on. It's out there. You just have to understand what uranium is. It's a rock and a mineral. Naturally, at Earth, and uranium is 95,000 more times common than gold. And uranium is legal to own. So is thorium. Also is thorium ore. And there's different types of uranium ore. There's gumite, carnotite, pitchblende, optonite. There's turbinite, metaturbinite, metaonanite, carnotite. There's pitchblende. There's different types out there. Uraninite, uranophene, turbinite, thiumonite, shockinite. There's different types out there of uranium ore. But you have to understand, it's out there. It's everywhere. It's in the rocks. It's in the ground. It's in the soil. And you never know. You could go in the woods and find a piece of uranium. You could be hiking and find a piece of uranium. You could be collecting rocks and didn't know it was uranium. It's out there. It's everywhere. But I just want people to know. Sorry for me itching my nose. Sorry about that. But yeah, uranium is out there, and people have to understand the laws. And there's not so much out there for people to really Google and search on this topic. So that's why I'm doing the topic, to touch based on what you can't find online. And if you have any questions, you can contact the United States Nuclear Regulatory Commission or go to their website for further information on these topics. But everything these days is radioactive. There's trinitite, there's tritium, and trinitite is radioactive glass from the old atomic bomb, like pretty much the old atomic bomb site where they detonated the first atomic bomb. And then they made glass called trinitite. So it's everywhere. There's radioactive sand, there's radioactive rocks, radioactive minerals, radioactive metal, there's radioactive plastics. It's out there. There's radioactive minerals. It's everywhere. And yes, uranium is illegal to own. And I just want to touch base on these topics for a reason. It's worth touching the topic. Thank you for your time, effort, and for listening. I hope this video has helped a lot of people fully understand the laws of a civilian owning uranium. Thank you. Have a good day. God bless.